attack.
I said it's all good, brother. You can't factor in the chaos. That's what I said.
It's Chrissy Chaos.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the podcast, KFC Radio on YouTube.
Bang.
Let's fucking go.
Did you guys, did you fuck or what?
No, I told you.
You kept it straight?
I told you, dude. I'm going straight on their podcast gay on this one.
It's
Ooh,
funny.
Can I have a water?
Yeah, grab
No waters.
Grab that big boy. Grab one too. They're like the size of my dildos at home. They're huge.
I love this. You want one?
Yeah, please.
Wow.
The Out and About guys, like their podcast is blowing up in the past year, and they like a lot of the same comedians, so they really have been like the comics come through and do both of ours. And usually we do all the gay jokes and the fun gay stuff, and then they just swapped in and undercut us. So.
You have the homophobic? Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Well, no, we were on there, and I was saying that they were
Chrissy
like
hetero.
They were like, the gay podcast of Barstool. I said, no, everybody at Barstool's gay.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You guys are the only ones who are out and about. But
It's so true.
Dude, you see the bullpen out.
Totally.
It's all gay men.
Yeah.
Dude, it really
Which is
is
beautiful, but it's fucking gay white guys.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really
I remember our
is.
CEO saying she's going to write a book one day that's called Men Are Chicks. Yeah. Because she's like, once I got here and started dealing with all you guys, I realized you're all just fucking chicks too. You're all gossiping and fighting and worrying. And,
Way worse.
Worse than chicks,
Yeah,
dude.
these chicks are like, yeah, this is what we do.
Well,
guys
chicks
are pretending.
I was going to say, a lot of times chicks will be, a lot of people say, oh, chicks are passive aggressive. I've seen my girl and her friends be aggressive at each other where I pussyfoot around my guy friends all the time.
I would never go to a friend. Like there's this like idea that like guys will just fight and like punch each other and get it over with. And it's like maybe when we're like 8.
Yeah.
Never.
Once we can actually hurt each other, we stop.
And then we just don't talk about our problems.
If we got into a fight, I'd sue you. That's what it is. I would immediately sue you.
Can you throw hands at all? Have you like boxed and shit?
I box. Yeah. But I'm not. If we got into it's one of those things where in a training session, I can do it. I know the moves or whatever. But I think if there was a real altercation, immediately I'm just on the floor, curled up, just getting kicked.
Have you ever seen our thing Rough and Rowdy? It's like,
is that when you got people who box?
Yeah,
right? Like
we
Sean
bought
Latham.
we bought like an amateur boxing federation, and these guys all train for like a year ahead of time.
Right.
And they're in the gym doing all the fucking things, swinging in their head, and then they, ding, 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 and they just go, just throw.
And then they're gassed in 30 seconds.
Totally out of gas.
Of course, dude.
Hugging, locking. It's like the only people who can actually stand up and throw punches repeatedly are full-blown professional boxers.
Full-blown
Everyone
boxers.
else is just, you're working out,
Yeah.
or you're throwing haymakers and you're
that-
scared and you're rolling around the floor.
That's like, and I think it's one of those things where like you have to just like do that for 15 years before you can even become like the Jake Paul Fury fight. Like Jake Paul, I mean, people say what they want. He's like a great boxer. He is, but Fury has been doing it probably since he's a little kid. Where Jake's only been doing it for 5 years. I mean, for somebody who's been doing it for 5 years, you're like, this guy's fucking phenomenal. But when you put him up against someone it's been their whole life, it's just the footwork. It's just different.
Fury. Like
it's just like, but
did you see him last night?
Who?
Jake.
I did not.
So Floyd and his whole money team.
Yeah.
Everybody was at the Heat game. So outside the arena, Floyd and the money team like run up on Jake Paul with like 20 dudes, and Jake. He stands there for a little while, and then he literally just turns and fucking runs. Like, full-blown sprint.
Why did they want to beat up Jake Paul?
Because so Floyd and Logan fought, and when that was happening, Jake was talking shit. He snatched his hat off his head. And,
okay. Oh, so that was real, you think?
Well, so I did my video on it today, and I was like, there's 3 ways you can look at it. Through the lens of, like, internet tough guy, we have beef and we're talking shit. Turning around and running away, you're going to be called a pussy.
Right.
Then there's the real life lens. Jake went on Instagram and was like, I'll fight you one-on-one anywhere. I'm not going to get jumped by 20 dudes. I'll run from that every time. I think I'm tough and I can fight, but I'm not going to get jumped. And then there's the third way you can look at it, that these two know exactly what they're doing, and they're inevitably going to fight and spar and make $100 million each.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
You never know with these guys. It could all be full-blown scripted, or it's like a wink-wink scripted, like, hey, if we run into each other, let's gas it up a little bit. You never know.
The jumping is sneaky fun. Getting jumped. I got jumped once when I was like in middle school.
Yeah.
And it was like I was walking home, and there were probably like 5 kids. And it was right by the cemetery in Fall River on Highland Ave. I said Robeson Street, I think, technically. Whatever. And like 4 or 5 kids, and they like kind of like surrounded me, and I was like, "This is gonna go bad."
Yeah.
Like,
you're not gonna.
By the way, I just want to say, I'm sure you've talked about it before. It's a cool sweater, but that is borderline a woman's sweater.
It is.
Oh, it's right on the cusp, which I like. But it needs to be said that could be an old woman's sweater.
It's on the cusp the other way. It's a woman's sweater that's bordering on men's. This is a women's sweater.
It's Taylor Swift's.
It's Taylor Swift's sweater.
Like my sister had it. It's Taylor Swift from Cardigan, and my sister had it made for me.
It's like it's modeled after a woman's sweater.
Yeah. It looks legit, but it's just like I was like,
you know what's funny?
Wearing women's clothing.
You know what's funny? The first time you came in here, you said I was wearing a woman's sweater. The very first time we were, you came.
And then the
Everyone
first time I
here's
come
gay.
in, I'm gonna wear a woman's sweater. I'm gonna kill myself on the show. That's how we end it.
Listen, but as far as getting jumped, like I was thinking, if I was Jake Paul, I would probably run away too, because it's just like I'm a businessman and I don't want to get my face caved in. But also, if he just stood there and took his beating. Like, you're not going to die, right? So you're going to get beat up and you're going to take some lumps. God willing, you don't break any bones or hurt your eyes or anything. And then afterwards, it's going to be like, yo, Jake Paul took like a fucking beating like a man, and Floyd's a bitch for jumping him. You know what I mean? It's almost like you can't. You're gonna lose.
Yeah.
You're not gonna lose in the long run.
It was
as long as you don't get your head caved in.
How old were you when you got jumped?
Middle school, and it was like
that's also like no one's gonna really do damage.
And we were on like
you guys don't have pubes yet.
We were on a fairly main street, so I knew someone was gonna stop and break it up pretty quick.
Exactly.
But I was just staying there, and I was like, I don't know, like let's just.
What'd you get jumped over?
I don't even
wearing women's sweaters.
Being the first openly gay kid in school.
Like it wasn't
gay bashing.
I didn't even know the kids. Like, it was just
it was just like random act of violence. Got it.
And it was like I was just standing there, and I was like, okay, and just fucking punch one kid in the face and then turtle shell.
I do like that. I'm gonna get at least one of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit one.
Yeah, I do like that.
And he fucking like just like he did. It was just like.
Right,
and then
bang,
bang.
Yeah, I do.
But I took like 5-10 hits, and then someone was like honking horns. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Again, we were kids, so we started running away.
My dad had the same philosophy. He got jumped. He was older. He used to I think he fought frequently. My dad used to be kind of running wild. He always told us the story. This guy, his name was Champ Wooford. I was like, that kid's
gonna beat the fuck out of you.
Yeah, like that's like Biff Tannen. Like that's you are the bully in the movie. And he said he stomped on his head with Timberland boots.
Yeah.
But he was like, it was the same thing, a bunch of dudes. And he was like, I'm gonna get one of you. And he tagged one guy and then got the shit beat out of him. He's like, I got you though.
I think that's a good philosophy though, to say, even if, because that will make somebody think twice about hitting you, even if you don't win. It's just like, if I knew, all right, I'm a bully and I can beat you up, but you're the guy who's always going to hit me at least once or twice, I'm going to be like, I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, bullies always bank on you're not
getting hit at all.
Yeah.
But if you just hit him once, that's usually enough to be like, all right, I'm going to back off.
Sure.
There's a school of 400 kids.
Swim away.
Don't take his word for that, folks. Someone's gonna get eaten by a shark. You'd be like, Chris, he told me.
Yeah, I know.
I've said this to you a lot recently, but I want to say it formally on the show. I think you are already on your way to hitting the next level. And I think you might already be there, or you're already going. But when we first got introduced to you, you were on the way up, and then over the years you've really solidified yourself with Hey Babe and Chrissy Chaos. You went on your own. Obviously, things have been going well, but between the TV show and the multiple Rogan appearances, selling out Radio City, adding the Hulu Theater, we've been doing it long enough where you can just see when certain people are really hitting the next gear. And it's your time, baby.
You think?
And I'm so happy for you, dude.
I fucking know, because I know I can see those glasses.
You look so fucking hot these days.
Dude, when I fucking...
What does this kid say? Do I look
Chris
hot?
is hot?
I think you look great. I saw you on Rogan. I was like, those are some fire glasses.
Do you know, the question was, am I hot?
Yes.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. We're working on him being gay. He's new. He's
Put
still
on Feidelberg sweater.
I remember when I saw the Instagram of you buying those glasses.
I know.
And I was like, damn, those are some unique glasses. I don't know if he's going to pull this off. And then the next day I saw him, I was like, God damn, he pulls those off.
Here, it's become a thing now where they've been almost like I don't put them on, they put themselves on me, because I'm like, don't wear them today. Don't wear them today. And then I was leaving this morning, I was like, I'm doing fucking KFC. I got to put them on. You got to put them on. And then, but so it's every day, I'm like, just Chris, not today. You don't have to wear them. Don't do them today. And then every day they're just on my face, and I don't even realize.
You sneeze and they're there.
Well, I'm going to attempt to just go week on, week off, because it's been getting wild. Like now I'm wearing like zip up sweaters. Yesterday,
you're dressing.
No, yesterday I was dressed like
I
was dressed like a Guido in like 1948. Like I went so old school, and they were like, "What are you doing?" Like I did Hey Babe with that, and Sal. Dude, by the way, Sal is like the most supportive guy. He's like, because I like, a lot of times I go in like, I'm losing my mind. I got the glasses on. I got this sweater. I mean, what the fuck am I doing? Who do I think I am? And he's like, no. You just be who you are.
You totally.
Go accept this. He was like, this is a phase. It's a beautiful phase. Accept it. Just do it.
Yeah.
He was like, you always say, go hard or go home. He was like, there you are. You're going hard.
Yo.
Yeah, you're going hard.
It's not just the glasses. You've lost weight, right? Intermittent fasting.
Through the intermittent fasting.
So you look good. The fits have been good.
Yeah.
It is a phase. You're going through, but I don't think it's a phase. Actually, I think it's just the next level. Because I don't think you're gonna like phase out of this and like go back to dressing lame.
Yeah. There's no going back.
Yeah, once
it's only going up, dude.
Speaking from a man in a girl sweater, once you do this shit, you do not go back.
Listen,
I mean the fit you had at the premiere party.
Oh yeah.
That soft leather jacket. You had like a little mock neck underneath. You had the chain, the glasses. I was like, I want to fuck.
People are like, where'd you get the? All these fancy stores. I don't even know. I was like, I got it from Zara. I went to the Staten Island Mall. They only sell that jacket in the Staten Island Mall Zara. It is like a classic. She left. That's why your staff member left. She's like, he went to Zara. Fuck him. I thought he was doing better.
What is the story of the glasses? Did you like see them in a store somewhere? Did you order them? Was it a gag that became real? What's the deal?
So what happened was I have a show on Vice TV. It's called Super Maximum Retro Show. It's all about 70s, 80s, 90s, vintage stuff, so it's cool. So Jimmy Kimmel is the executive producer of it. So to promote the show a couple of weeks ago, they invited me to sit on like the couch on Jimmy Kimmel's show, which is for a stand-up, that's different. You do stand-up, it's great, but when you're on the couch, it's just totally different. You're like a really guest.
Sure.
Stand-up, you are and you aren't. It's like nobody cares. Like we make it a bigger deal in our heads, but it's like it doesn't mean anything.
It used to, but now you go on any of those late night shows and it's like you did your 5 minutes and nobody remembers.
Where the couch still to this day it matters.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was thinking, we're promoting the show. I've at least over the last 3 months I've been Chrissy Glow Ups. I said I'm the new Lizzo. So I said let me try. Let's just try to take a fucking swing. And let's just try to glow up on this guy's show. So I went. Shout out my boy Giovanni Brusciani, who I went to high school with. That's his real name. Yeah.
That sounds like you put it. Remember those old like name generators back in the day, like an Italian name.
You know what? It sounds like a palindrome. It sounds like you can say it backwards and forwards. Giovanni Brusciani.
No, shout out Giovanni Brusciani. He's got a great suit store in Astoria. Go get suits from my man Giovanni Brusciani. And we went to Malloy together, Archbishop Malloy together. I said, I need to get a suit. I want this look. He was like, I got you, cuz.
That was the blue one?
That was the blue and gold.
Sharp.
Fucking white turtleneck.
Yep.
Brown shoes.
Mint. Blue and brown always plays. I think I also like that, not a full suit and tie. It's like a little bit casual, but also you look great.
Mint. And then I said, the thing that I'm going to need, though, to complement all this, I want some like 80s frames glasses. So Robert Kelly, guys, I'm sure, Bobby Kelly.
Oh, he's the glasses king, right?
Glasses king. So I asked him, where do you get, because his glasses are dope. He goes, got to go to this guy, Anthony Aiden, down on St. Mark's, Anthony Aiden Optical in the East Village. I said, I'm going in. Made an appointment, went in, told Anthony exactly what I wanted. He was like, I got you. And he gave me they're Stanley Kubrick frames. Stanley Kubrick used to wear these when he was directing movies in the 80s. So he was like, I got you with the fucking, their transition lenses. So it's actually practical. Like when I'm driving and, in the sun, I
Chrissy old man over here. They're actually practical. I don't have to take them off in the sun.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is I've realized, like, because initially when I started wearing the glasses, the first question was like, oh, are they prescription? And I said no, because I'm truthful. But then I realized they were like looking at me like, oh, this guy's just wearing glasses. So now I tell everyone they are prescription.
That's smart.
I'm like, I have to wear them.
No matter what, you are an asshole kind of when you wear glasses and you don't have to.
Yes,
like
100%.
It started out, I remember probably like a decade ago now, all like the NBA players started showing up wearing glasses when they didn't have to wear glasses. Yeah. And I remember being like, who do I think I am? Russell Westbrook? I can't fucking wear glasses if I don't need glasses.
Right.
But now it's kind of allowed, but it still makes you go, Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
guy
I went to get my eyes checked kind of deal, and the doctor was like,
There's cum in these.
yeah, right, dude. I got good reflexes. I blink fast, bro. And he's like, honestly, you don't need glasses, but like, you can have the weakest
And you're like, yes.
prescription
As long as
possible.
it's a prescription.
And I was like, yeah, I'll take those then.
yeah.
And I wore them to the office. This is back in the old office, HQ2. And everyone it was like, you know, at the time there were like 12 employees, and everyone's like, Jesus Christ, like what the fuck is a fight? Like, those aren't real. And I was like, no, they're real, they're prescription.
Yeah.
And everyone would put them on. They're like, these
No,
aren't
they're not.
the weakest prescription possible. Like, these aren't prescription. I was like, they literally are prescription, but they're also not prescription.
Fuck it. I know. But then I kind of got over that. I talked to my dad.
You should get over it.
Because
Who
my
fucking
dad,
cares?
because I was talking to my father a couple of days ago, and I was like, he was like, how's everything going? I was like, yeah, talking, whatever. And then somehow it comes up. I was like, yeah, Jazz is like, she's like, oh, who, you know, your fucking ego now.
Who do
You
you
got
think you
glasses.
are? Yeah.
You got a chain. You got a watch now. And I was like, you know, what am I supposed to say? He goes, you know what you're supposed to do? Go buy another pair of glasses, another watch, and another chain. That's what I would do.
Let's go.
He goes, she's mad at it because you know what, Chrissy, it looks good. And I was like, yeah. So, but that's why my dad's divorced.
Your father and your mother who had a great relationship, right?
Yeah. But it did kind of make me feel like I am going to do it. But I, you know, I kind of feel like that's why I did it, and you know, put the suit on, the glasses, and I like the way I look. But just because I'm not used to, you know, dressing nice, and I am just an idiot. And this is why, you know, like if I was an actor, right? The actor's just
totally.
everything works. It's boom. That's why you're an actor.
There's also people expect it.
Right.
You're supposed to have a stylist and a this and that when you're an actor.
With a comic,
Yeah,
there's
totally
always
different.
something that makes you a comic that you don't even realize. Like I'm not, you know, we try to be funny, but then I think the thing that makes a real comic a comic is the things that just naturally happen to you, because my aura is just like shit happens to me, and that's what I talk about. I feel like a fucking $1 million in this suit. I feel good, and then I go. You know, a little nervous, of course. Go out live, you know, on the show. I sit down in the couch. It's like my first time. They're telling me, like, you know, sit down slow, like whatever. I just fucking buzz in, right? I go and sit down. If you watch the video, if you watch the show, I sit down and my jacket comes up like this. So the whole video, my jacket is up like this. The sleeves are up to here. I have this chain is wrapped around the turtleneck sleeve. It looks like my jacket's up, and I'm like this, sitting the whole time like an absolute asshole. Giovanni Brusciani, his first. Wait, let me read the text. Giovanni
Sitting like a fucking asshole. Why you do that with a jacket?
Giovanni Brusciani. He texts me. He goes, "Cuz you looked amazing and you killed it. When you double fist pumped on the end before you sat down, the sleeves got stuck. And as you were talking with your hands, they kept riding up, and it looked way too short." He goes, "But actually, it's my fault, cuz I should have known.
I should have given you some extra time so you could."
He goes, "I should have had you rode up because I knew you use your hands a lot. I didn't factor that in."
fucking
And I said,
this
"It's
is
all
an
good."
architect.
I said, "It's all good, brother. You can't factor in the chaos."
It's Chrissy Chaos.
Yeah.
That's why it's perfect.
But so I always think, like, you know, and even like even if, you know, with you know, things that are happening in my life now, I'm just staying positive. I'm just staying like,
It's the wolf, man. It's the wolf.
Yeah, we got two
Feed
good
the good
wolves.
wolf.
We feed the good wolf, fuck the bad wolf. You know, did Rogan. I'm doing all these things. You know, that week was a big week. It was Kimmel. It was Rogan. I did Tom Segura. It's going to come out in a couple of weeks. And I was like, you know what, man? Like, I'm not going to doubt myself. I'm not going to be like, well, this is only happening to me because of blah, blah, blah. I was like, just fucking live in the moment.
There's one reason why this is happening to you, because you've been doing it for fucking your whole life.
Yeah, it's a long time.
You're killing it, and you're talented.
Yeah.
Like, that's also the thing about, unless you are a comic who, like, you got hot on TikTok in the pandemic and you got the express track, those people don't necessarily deserve it. I'm a believer of, like, if you get there, you get there. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But most people, when they make it in comedy, like 100% deserve it, because they put in hours and miles and bombing, and like, so it's like there's no way you can be like, oh, this is just I got lucky, or this is a flash in the pan. It's like you put in your hours until the tipping point happened, and it's here. And I do think there is some vibe in comedy, and it'll always be this way. If you're fat, if you're ugly, if you look weird, it's funnier, because it just is, right?
Just is, yeah.
And you're like the only guy who's super fucking hot and stylish and all that shit and pulling it off. So it's like double.
Well, I think you two are hot.
Yeah, but we're not on your level.
Well, you know, but here, two good things. One, it's balance. I like that things happen sometimes the way they happen because like, you know, all these tickets are selling in New York and all over and I'm so happy, but it's like the day like I have all these shows happening, Radio City, adding shows, all that, but then like next week I'm at a place called The Ranch in Fort Myers, Florida, and like 40% of the room is sold. You know, like so it's,
that keeps you
but that's what's I'm blessed to that because guess what? I was in the Comedy Cellar all night last night. I'm in the Comedy Cellar tonight because I'm like, hey dude, you haven't fucking done shit yet. You sold a few tickets in your home city. Like I'll tell
anybody can do that.
That's what I'll tell myself. So we keep working. But the other thing is who you surround yourself with. So like having Sal doing the show with Sal Volcano is great because he's done all this already.
Oh yeah.
So he's told me, he's like, dude, this is all happening to you. You got to stay in the present because all this stuff only happens for the first time once.
Right. Yeah.
So these things are happening to you now. He's like, he's like, because the worst thing that happened is because like my father had told me, and it was good advice that I didn't take, but he goes, we sold out, you know, Radio City, and you know, so happy, whatever, and it only took like 10 days. So that was like big. So I told my dad, and the show's not till September, and he goes, great, Chrissy. He was like, but you shouldn't add anything else. He goes, it's what you do.
One show.
Yeah. He goes,
we were yelling about it. We do one show at the Wilbur. We're not adding a second one because it's not going to sell out.
Yeah, one show. So he goes, remember, just do one show. He goes, you know, we're going to go out to dinner that night. You know, your daughters will be there. Your family will be there. He's like, just let's celebrate this win. Now he said, you got 6 months of no stress. So he was like, we're so happy for you. I knew you were going to do it. So like, it's great. So I said, amazing. I said, amazing. And I honestly hung up that phone, was like, I love my dad.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes later, my agent called. He was like, Chrissy, I mean, this thing sold out in 10 days. I was like, I know, it's amazing. I just feel so good that it's over and we could take a deep breath. He goes, I know, man. He goes, I took a deep breath too. He goes, here's the thing.
And then I took another breath.
He goes, the theater at MSG wants you to do a show there the next night and just make this like a New York night. He said, because if you sell out the theater at MSG, well, then the people, it's all the same buyers. Then you sold at Radio City. Then you sold at the theater at MSG. Then what's the next step? Yeah. Then they maybe put you to the big one. Maybe they put you to MSG, which is my ultimate goal, which is most comics' ultimate goal. But being a New Yorker, that is like my goal, right? And so I was like, you know, my one has, you know, Good Wolf is saying, listen to your dad. He's never steered you wrong. Bad Wolf's like, go do it. Go do it. Eat ass on stage. Do it. He's like, you're going to get to MSG, Chrissy. And so I said, I literally was like, let me just think about it. I said, let me think about it. He go, just give me a day. I said, just give me a day. Hung up the phone. And then I said, what am I doing? I pick up the phone. I call him. I said, book it. and here's the thing is initially, because when you know, Radio City is such a big thing, and then all the fans bought right away, and then the next show, I don't care who you are, the second show and third, fourth show, they sell out, but it's never the same speed. It's always like, this is how life works. So they're selling, but it's not the same speed. And for a day, I was like with my manager being like, what's the numbers? Like the counts, whatever. And then my dad just like, that's what's cool about my dad is instead of him being like, see, I told you so, he's like, you did what you did, all good. He goes, let's just find a way to sell out this one. I'm supporting you. He goes, but you have to take, he goes, I want you to take like at least a weekend, which was last weekend, to say, you're not looking at the ticket sales for MSG because you're going to celebrate Radio City.
Honestly.
He was like, don't fast, don't do anything. Just take
just enjoy.
Just literally, and you know what? I took 48 hours to do that, and now I don't care, you know, if whatever, I don't care what
whatever the numbers are.
Because the win is Radio City.
Also, I don't. I subscribe to the one show thing too. I get it.
Yeah,
like,
one a day.
I do
I don't like doing 2 in a day. Yeah. One a day.
But just in, you know, even in general, something like Radio City is big enough that, you know, you would never have set out saying my goal is to do 2 Radio Cities. You always start out with 1, and then you achieve your goal, and you should just enjoy it. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing what you did, though. I think it's ambitious. It might not always be the smartest play, but who knows? What if? I don't know, something goes wrong in the next few months, and then Hulu Theater never comes around again. What if they change management and they don't like you or whatever? You got one, you know, you get like then you're the asshole who passed on an offer, a chance to do the Hulu Theater.
No.
And by the way, it will sell. You have a long time to go, and even if it's not a full sellout, it's going to be a big full room, and you're going to kill it, and they'll probably want you for the main stage one day.
Yeah, it's already like on its way. So it's
fuck you.
It's all good. No, but
you'll always complain about. You'll always be worried about ticket sales.
Well, the thing is too.
Always keep going. You know, even
I get like mad.
Garden, then you'll be like, I'm not selling a giant stadium. You know, it's just.
And my dad is like great, like life advice. But then, you know, when I have a great agent, he's a great guy. Where his advice was, no, but you have momentum now. So said, this is what you do.
Like,
he said,
your
you
prize,
told me your goal
chance.
is Madison Square Garden. That's what it is. He said, I'm telling you, I've been doing that. He has a lot of high-profile clients. You know, I'm one of his lower ones. He's like, this is the route to get you there. So take. He was like, it's a necessary risk.
Yeah.
He was like, you know, you fucking.
And it's not a risk. Like,
Yeah,
like
it's not a
can,
risk.
What can go wrong? All right, maybe you play in front of a room that's a little bit empty. I don't know. That's not like your career's
it'll
gonna
be
ruined.
fine. Yeah, I saw fucking Coco Melon at the Hulu Theater. So now I'm taking, I took my kids to see Coco Melon, and
What's
now
Coco
I'm gonna do the
Melon?
show.
It's like a kid's thing. It's like a Peppa Pig
kid
type
show.
shit.
Yeah.
They're selling out the theater.
Yeah,
It's fucking
Coco Melon
crazy.
sells
when you
way
think of
more
that
tickets
shit.
than
Yeah, you go to Disney on Ice is fucking raking in money.
Yeah. But I think what I'm learning though with what's happening, what just like life, entertainment is, you have to purposely say, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'm just going to sit and enjoy it, because what will happen is you'll always be looking then for the next thing, and then your life or career will go by, and you didn't enjoy any of it.
I know that, and I acknowledge that, and I do not listen to it.
I know.
Like, all I do
But you
is
have
stress and compare.
There's
and
a balance, and I don't think you would ever even get here if your personality was to just like. You can't just sit and soak it in. You got to keep going.
Yeah,
because the people who rest on their laurels are the people who,
Right.
the comics who have been doing the same act for 10 years.
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
get
yeah.
dusted
Yeah.
because it's like you got, fat,
Yeah.
dumb, and happy. And there's a balance, and we're probably unhealthy on the other side. But I'd rather be unhealthy in the right direction than the wrong direction. Where
Yeah,
it's like
it's like when a football player hits somebody in public. You're like, what did you think they were going to do? That's what they don't turn it off.
Your brain is broken, man. You've had this hammered into you for the last 20
what
years.
it is. That woman's hair was shaped like a helmet. That's what it is.
Now, how much of this recent success do you attribute to getting off social media? Is that happening because of, or alongside of, or is it a coincidence, or is it cause and effect?
If I'm being completely honest, I think that from my career, from my body, from my relationship with Jasmine, my relationship with my family, my relationship with my daughters, I don't think any of that is in the place it's in today if I'm still on social media. I think that just from being someone who's been off it for 6 months now,
you're cold turkey off.
I don't Well, I have a guy who runs it, so I understand.
Sure.
Like, it's fortunate to do that. I know not everyone can do that, but I can do that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to pay a guy to do it. But what I did was I said, I'm not going to pay him to do it and then still have access to it. I basically pressed the fucking destroy button. I said,
you don't have
change the password. Don't tell me.
I don't have it. I have zero. So what I have a family Instagram account that's private that's got 30 followers. All my friends and family. All I'm seeing is my children, their children. Like, it's what.
So you still get the you're on because sometimes I think about what would I literally do if I didn't have the app on my phone.
What I do with that is, and I've been good with it, is I check it once a day, either in the morning or the night. You get to check it once, and what I do is just whatever. I'll give myself maybe like 90 seconds. I check my account, but I'm as if I'm a fan. I have no access to it, just to make sure that whatever I told him was posted was spelled right, the links are working, whatever.
You're
so
not
just
sitting there reading
for a
comments
business,
shit,
not once, no DMs.
That's the name of the game.
There's no way to get in touch with me unless you're my friend or family or you have my number.
Smart way to go.
So I've cut off. I think I would carry around that energy of something some stranger said online, whether it be positive or negative. It would affect my personality in a negative or positive way. And now I only take criticism, or I only take anything, whether it's positive or negative, from someone who I'm actually in their physical presence. I believe like social media is like another realm that I don't have anything to do with anymore. So it doesn't affect me, because a lot of people say, the one thing I've learned, the one thing I felt is I hear a lot of people saying, man, I wish you would go back in time, or like even with this my Super Maximum Retro show, a lot of the people will be like, man, life was so much better back then. The 90s, it was so much better. And I live in the 90s because I'm not on social media. When you're off social media, you're like, oh, it's the same as it was 20 years ago. It doesn't matter. There's no real problems. It doesn't. There's no race fucking issue. There's no violence. It's just
political bullshit.
Everything's just no political bullshit. Yeah, there are problems, and if it happens to you in your physical space, then you deal with it.
Right, but it's not
a lot of the
face
shit
all
you're
day, every
seeing
day.
and feeling has nothing to do with you.
Totally.
Yeah.
But you're making your identity, and I learned that, and I feel like that's because a lot of times I would not only compare myself to others, but I would compare myself to me. I would compare me to me, and both those things would depress me, because you would forget that either you're seeing someone who you believe is better than you, or you're seeing yourself 6 months ago that you think is a better version of yourself because you forget that you have the perfectly crafted picture or video or statement, whatever you did. And now I literally just compare myself to yesterday, and that thing of like just trying to get better day by day. That's what I do. And dude, I think I weigh 210 pounds. I haven't weighed that since fucking I was 20 years old.
Right.
So it's just and
but
feel good.
So like
Yeah.
You're taking a car somewhere. You're stuck in traffic.
Right.
You got your phone. What do you do?
So what I
sit there?
What I found myself doing more in the car, because I think there is and I don't think even 6 months is not long enough, because I would always be like, those dopamine hits like on social media. What are people saying? What I do now is I realize like I'll be driving for 10, 15 minutes, get bored, and instead of checking the phone, I call somebody.
Just talking.
Yeah,
which
God.
I have to get better at just having alone, at just being comfortable being alone.
But,
I'm not there yet, but I think it's better than Instagram.
Crazy. Sitting around listening to your own thoughts is crazy. Nobody could do that.
Yeah. I mean, getting off Twitter, I think has had the most positive impact, because
Twitter's,
once in a while, my
hellscape.
social media guy will just show me, he'll be like, dude, like, it's just like crazy. Like the experiments, like I'll have the same post, one on TikTok, one on Instagram, one on Twitter, and you'll see all the negative on Twitter, mostly positive actually on Instagram, and then TikTok is usually a little bit in between. A lot of it is bots, but it's weird how, and then Facebook is almost all positive.
Really?
Yeah, Facebook is like exclusively positive.
No shit.
And so
I get
you're
back
like,
on that shit.
and so you're like, wow, like this is like, there's people that go around and they make like this their identity. They're not even living in reality. Like it's a different, like I truly believe, I'm sure you guys have said this before on the show, I truly believe the way we look at cigarettes 50 years ago is the way we'll look at social media.
Dude, like literally exact that comparison I use.
And my daughter, she's 7 now, social media is not cool to kids anymore. They see what it's doing to what it did to their parents or older siblings. And
my kids are always like, put the phone down.
I was saying that
it's actually very depressing when your kid says that to you.
I know.
It cuts to your core.
Yeah. Because like and you just think about like your relationship with your parents. Anything your parents did was uncool. So kids are growing up and seeing you were like, you're like, that's a fucking, like, you guys use social media, you guys are on your phones all the time. Yeah. That's fucking lame. It's like how I saw my dad reading the newspaper.
Right.
I'm like, dude, that's fucking lame, dude. All you do is you read 7 newspapers a day.
And Louis C.K. came on my Chrissy K's podcast and gave me great advice. It's a specific comedy, but I think it can apply to real life. He was like, you don't want to be king of the algorithm. That's the last thing you want in your life. He said, because what are you doing? If you're putting out a version of yourself that's feeding this algorithm that is just this fucking math equation in the sky that's not real, that's not a human being, what you're going to do is, maybe it'll go viral, maybe that'll sell you more tickets, maybe that'll get you more accolades, but it will be that version of yourself that you've made the algorithm like, not that you may not like that version of yourself, but the algorithm likes, so that's what you put out. So then when the people come and see you at your show, they're going to want to see that algorithm version of you. And if you give them the real you, and they may be like, oh, this guy sucks.
Bro, not to mention, they also just flip the algorithm. And then what?
Yeah, that's
they
it.
change the algorithm. I was
just saying, we get emails all the time from like our social team being like, dude, like our social, Gaz, our social head, and it's like, now this has changed, and I've never done it, and I like to use that in my head as a crutch, where like I'm doing it because I'm real to me. I'm doing it because like they changed the algorithm. Well, if we're being honest with each other, I'm doing it because I'm lazy and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But there is a part of it.
It ends up becoming Drew. Like after the fact. I mean, we've been doing it for 15 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 15 years. Dave's been doing it for like 25 years. Twitter, social media, all that shit came in around like what? I think
29,
I think like 7, 8, 9. We were on it like 9, 10, 11, whatever. And since then, they've added apps. They've changed the rules.
Yeah.
They what you can say, what you can't do, and we've always played by their rules. And I mean, I personally, I get everything you're saying, and I think it's great. We also like are on the internet, and for me to like completely cut it out, I think would almost be like cutting out work for me. So like I think
you could put a barrier up.
Yeah, totally. I need to have like rules to it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I think there's a balance of like, if you're gonna be successful in the modern world, you probably got to play by the rules a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, when you're like, you can't say this anymore, you can't say that anymore. It's like, well, what are we gonna be able to say? Like, what's left to say?
Well, I think now what's happening though is
they have to blur out every curse word now.
because
on
the
TikTok.
algorithm.
I was thinking about that. Even
they have to sit there and blur out every fucking time we say fuck.
I told a story the other day about like when I had to put our dog down and it was whatever. But anyway, I posted the clip and I was like thinking, I was like, well, I can't say kill, I can't say this.
Yeah,
like,
you can't say
so
any of it.
goddamn fucking stupid. This is not how I talk.
Right.
FYI, you're putting your dog down. Like, fuck you. That's not how I talk.
Yeah,
It doesn't sound like me.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid.
Well,
so
I
dumb.
thought, and when I got off social media, I thought, I said to myself, even if this affects my ticket sales, even if this affects my career, it's good for me, it's good for my family, I'm going to do it. But it's actually just been the opposite.
all been
the
good.
career's been like.
Well, you've also been. I think you. To be fair, I think you did it at a point where like you're good, you're set.
Yeah, yes,
like
but,
Hey Babe and Chrissy Chaos are cruising. Like there's really no slowing you down right now.
yeah, well, but I think that I just thought
Like,
that,
put it this way: if you're like a young up and comer right now, and you really want to make it, you probably got to play by the rules a little bit.
I think with
Unless
the
you are
social media,
supremely talented,
I think
and
it's-
everybody word of
yeah.
mouth is gonna like, you know what I mean? Like you.
I think it's like any addiction though, like or any illness where you think about it like. I mean, and a million comics have told the story before where if you're depressed and you think like if I get better maybe I won't be funny. If you're an
Yeah.
alcoholic and you're like if I
don't
cut this out
drink,
maybe I won't have I won't be
Yeah.
as funny. Like there are all these
you're funny,
things
you're funny.
I won't be as successful. And you're like oh, this is like my essence. This is what it is. And it's like no, it's a problem. And
you know what
fix
happened?
it.
You know what I think
and you'll be a totally different person that maybe
Which will
you
make
didn't
you
even
better,
think
which makes
was-
you better in
That's why I
every-
feel
Yeah.
blessed to have like a family because like being a comic
the
is like the
difference,
third or fourth thing about who I am as a human being. It's
Right,
like
right.
people are like I got to be the greatest comic ever. Go for it. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
give
yeah.
a shit if I'm the greatest comic
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
I
right.
don't. I could care less. I just want to be a good dad and a good family member. So
Right.
I'm like, so when you do that, I'm like, well, if they don't sell, fine. If I don't get followers, I don't care. It's like we're happy. We have what we want. That's my peers who it's like comedy's their identity. It's fine, whatever your circumstance is. But like in Japan, they have such a high suicide rate for when people retire because they make their job their identity.
Yeah.
And then once you take that
you
away,
got
you're
nothing.
like, well, now what am I?
Right.
So it's like you got to be careful about like not putting all your eggs in one basket in life. That's
You
why I'm going with the glasses.
What's his fucking name? The Penn State guy. I can't think of his name.
Jerry Sandusky.
Paterno.
Paterno.
When he lost the
Yeah, he died-
coaching gig.
died
right away.
Yeah.
Right away. Yeah.
It's like,
Well,
Died as
all
fast
he
as a
was.
Japanese man does.
Yeah. Well, what about there was a story
Can't
once
play
I read.
football, can't rape kids. I'm out of
I'm
here.
out of here. Well, after the Cubs won the World Series, like 10% of
Everybody
the
died.
elderly population over 95 died immediately.
Do you know how many books were written in Boston in 2005 called "Now I Can Die in Peace"?
Yeah.
Like Shaughnessy wrote one, Bill Simmons wrote one. Like, it's like, dude, my grandfather was. I remember in like 2002 talking to my grandfather, and he's like, we were like cleaning out his basement because he was getting old and he couldn't live in his house anymore, and he like a dead serious conversation. He was just like, I can't die without seeing a World Series.
Did he make it?
I know it.
He did make
Oh,
it.
good.
He's still alive right now.
I was
Actually.
gonna say, fucking as soon as they caught that last night, he shot himself in the head. He was like, yeah.
Bro, you want to hear a funny but terribly sad story? We put out a podcast the other day, and John told the story he was talking about, the clip he put up. His family dog was sick.
Okay.
They brought him to the vet to put him down.
Would you get the booster?
It was,
Myocarditis.
no,
Fauci's a criminal.
it was like later in the day, and the guy who does it was like,
It's actually a woman.
a woman was
Sexist.
like, come back on Monday because
you.
I just can't do any more today. So they took the dog home for the weekend, and over the weekend, like, she came back alive.
Okay.
3 more years the dog lived.
Wow.
So he put out a clip being like, just FYI, you're probably killing your dogs way too early. Like,
Yeah.
That day, our coworker here had to put down their puppy.
Their puppy?
like weeks, like right away. John put up a clip.
I was like,
being
you gotta be kidding me.
like-
Like it was.
like, hey, if you're killing your dog, you're a murderer.
It was-
And then
it
it was
was-
like then we see the post from him, and it's got like piano music, and it's like our angel in the sky, and I was like, oh my god,
It's as bad as timing as you could possibly have. There was a blog written back in the day. This is old school Barstool, right? And people who know what I'm talking about will know who wrote it. I'm gonna leave names out.
this is a bad one.
And it was like posted at like 9:30 a.m. about how breaking news and telling someone news, and it's a true blog, like telling someone news is one of the greatest feelings of all time. We're like, have you heard? And not even with gossip or anything. Like, which have you heard? And it's like, no, I haven't heard. It's like, oh, sit down, I got something to tell you.
It was like, good news, bad news.
Yeah.
Something it doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It could be a tragedy when you know and someone else doesn't, and you break that news, you get a rush of dopamine.
That was posted like 9:30 a.m. 9:35, Sandy Hook. Like, and everyone, and people couldn't like look. People weren't looking at timestamps. People were like, Jesus fucking Christ, did you post that about Sandy?
We just shut down the blog for a whole time. The first day in Barstool history, we just said we're not doing anything
We just
anymore.
closed it. We're like, yeah, we can't have this up anymore.
All time bad timing.
It was, but it was obviously before. It was obviously done before.
There was also a time where somebody wrote a blog about a dead girl. You know that story?
Oh, yeah. That story.
He's back. He's
Dude,
good. She's still dead, but
we had
he's fine.
some all-time blogs back in the day. We had Nate. Nate wrote a blog. Stuart Scott's at fucking Bojangles.
Oh my God.
Like Stuart Scott's like got a week left. Like
Right.
he is.
He's dying of cancer. Yeah.
The whole
world knows it.
The whole world knows he's dying of cancer. And he writes a blog. Is it me or does Stuart Scott look like shit?
He just didn't know.
He just didn't know. He had no idea.
He was like, this guy looks like a bag of shit. What's going on? Everyone was like, he's dying of cancer,
What
dude.
the fuck?
I mean, that was an honest. I was just like, I don't know how you didn't know.
Was that the headline? Stuart Scott looks like a bag of shit.
It was something comparable, if not exactly that. It was like holy shit, does Stuart Scott look terrible?
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, he's doing chemo 9 hours a day right now.
Oh my God, dude.
It's hard out here in these streets, man.
But sometimes I feel like I was at the I was doing comedy the other night. I was at Comedy Cellar the other night, and it was a couple in the front row, like a very just like white, like like they like were just sitting up, like just very white, and those are easy targets with today, just fucking making fun of white people, whatever, blah 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 blah. So I'm doing it, and then they were saying that they have no kids, and I was like, oh good, like I got fucking 3 kids, like I never sleep, like fuck you. I was like, you know what? I hope you get cancer. That's what I said to the guy. And it got like a good laugh, and then she was like, he actually has it. I was dead serious. She was like, he actually has it. And then I had a decision. I had a decision, a split-second decision. I was like, what do I do here? Because then it was awkward. Because not awkward, but it was like, you're going to have to say something immediately, think. So I just said, you deserved it. And then people started to laugh. He started to clap. And then I just started fucking going in. I was like, what cancer do you have? And he said whatever he said. I was like, that's not even a real one.
You got melanoma? Get the fuck out of here. I can take melanoma off with scissors, bro.
Yeah, like bull. And then it was funny because, I made a clip and we were going to put it out. But, even my social media guy was like, I just don't know about this one. He's like, I just don't know if this one's worth it, which sucks, and I still might do it. Depends how drunk I get tonight. I still might let it rip. But it's one of those things where the actual person, the actual guy I was making fun of after the show was like, dude, you made me forget about my cancer for 10 minutes. I love this. Yeah. But it's one of those things where, you post something like that, and then everybody wants to make everything about themselves. You realize the narcissism in our society, like that's the fucking epidemic. That's worse than obesity. It's like everything's about me always.
Dude, cancer's the big one too, and we've said this for a long time with like, because particularly our fans are like fucking like the old Barstool making fun of shit, blah blah blah, like and even like way back in the day, like you make fun of cancer. And someone will be like, my mom died, like my uncle died of cancer, my aunt died of cancer. Yo, everyone died of cancer. That's what cancer does. It kills old people. It's like it's dying of old age
cancer
rebranded.
Is just
like
the human. It's death. Cancer
most people I know died of cancer.
I made fun of Hutchinson's disease. You ever heard of that?
Hutchinson's. No.
It was a stupid blog I wrote back in like 2010. The symptoms make you act like you're drunk.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like the opposite of Parkinson's. It's like something
whatever.
Like that.
It doesn't even matter. All I know is the thing said you behave like you're drunk, and I wrote a blog being like, oh great, I'll lose some weight. I cut out some money. Just give me Hutchinson's and any other blah blah blah. And some dude who I know had laughed at like every other thing I've ever written was like, my grandma has that or whatever. And I'm like, one person has Hutchinson's disease, and you're gonna call me out and try to take me down.
Dude.
Get over it, man. If you laugh at every other one of my jokes or my thing or whatever, and then the one time it applies to you, you're gonna get all up in arms. Fuck that.
Yeah, but I'm telling you that. Yeah, that's why I think like nobody would ever say anything to you in reality.
Yeah. No, I mean it's never. Yeah,
nobody would ever.
Last night I was at this I was at a charity event, and it's with this charity Team Impact. It's an unbelievable charity. They pair young kids with disabilities with college sports teams, so like the college kids know what it's like to be someone who's not doing too well, and so they have this little kid there who's with he's a child on one of the teams, and they're like, would you mind if he interviews you a little bit on camera and we use it for social and all that stuff? And I was like, of course, no big deal. And he's like, first question, he's like, if you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be? And I was like, oh, middleman, that's a good question. Like, where are you from? He goes, New Jersey. And I went, well, it's not Jersey. and I was like,
but that's where my doctors are.
Good for you, little man. I ain't going.
And then they had told me beforehand, like, he's so fun. Like, he wants to ask you how big your butt is, but we're not going to ask that. And I was,
it seems like a question from his mom.
Yeah. And I was like, at the end, I was like, I heard you wanted to ask me a question that you didn't ask, so I'll ask you, how big's your butt? And then I was like, John, you can't be asking kids how big their butts are.
Yeah.
Just be fucking normal for 1 second, dude.
And what did he say?
He got really embarrassed and hid behind his mom. He went, and then
amazing. Well, the FBI will be knocking. That is a borderline. I mean, you can't ask a kid that.
Can't ask a kid how big your butt is.
Yeah.
I said, come on.
And he whispered it. How big's your butt?
Turn the cameras off.
How old was he?
You got?
He was like 5.
I would get, I had 5 to 7, very, very young.
National.
If somebody,
That's
some
federal.
guy's asking your fucking kid
How big his butt is? I'd be like, buddy, are you out of your fucking mind?
He wanted to ask me.
You're asking a 5-year-old kid with Down syndrome.
He's 5. You're an adult.
Yeah, some 5-year-old kid with Down syndrome, how big his butt is?
I would absolutely punch someone in the face if they asked my kid how big their butt is.
Yeah, I'd be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Get away from him. Get away from this man.
Yeah, I know.
Wearing a lady sweater, asking my kid how big his private parts are. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
You sick fuck.
Well, yeah, but he didn't answer. He'd be honest. Did his mom have a nice big butt?
His mom.
You were like, I see you. Colleen's leaving.
When's the show premiere?
My Vice show premiered last Tuesday. Thanks for watching.
Right.
We were at the party.
I couldn't. Yeah,
at the party.
You didn't play it on the. How about
by the way, that's how I knew.
This motherfucker. We're talking before the fucking party. He goes, they told me that they were going to play the premiere. They're going to put this show on. And I told him I'm going to leave. I don't like to watch myself. If it's on screen, I'm going to be crawling out of my skin. I said you can maybe put it on the TV, but make sure that the music is still playing. And that's it. We get to the fucking bar. The screen that I thought was going to be like projected for the whole bar that he was worried about, it was one of those old 1980s. The screen was this big, Pat.
No, I think
it was this big.
That's
nobody
too big.
even
that was too big.
It was. I'll tell you how it was as wide as a VCR is because it was a VCR and TV. That's what he was worried about people seeing.
I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be a big thing.
It's the kind of TV you win at like a public elementary school's PTA fundraiser.
Yeah,
like if
you play bingo. Yeah. Like, here you go.
It's the kind of TV that if you have a show that's in season 1 on Vice. That's what they can afford. That's what they were like, hey, buddy, we got you a party. We're going to have it on the TV, but it's this big. But no, it premiered it's every Tuesday, 10 p.m. Eastern time. I have not gotten the ratings yet. Who the hell knows?
Who cares? Like you said, that doesn't matter.
Who cares? I have fun doing it.
I learned this after the fact. You know that account, Super 70 Sports?
Yes.
That's what
the show
was based on.
Oh, really?
Because everybody follows
the
that.
creator was there. The guy with the long hair, Ricky Cobb. I don't know if you
the
saw
older
him.
guy with the long hair?
Yeah, he was there.
Oh, okay.
He is the guy for that.
Yeah.
And he said,
no shit.
Yeah, and dude, it was crazy like how
because everybody in our world follows Super 70 Sports because it's just pictures of old baseball players and Doc Ellis threw a no-hitter on LSD and these guys got in a fight. It's like when sports were sports. So everybody follows that and now there's a TV show
And Jimmy
about
Kimmel just DM'd that guy Ricky Cobb like one day randomly and he was like, is this really Jimmy Kimmel? And he was like, I want to make a TV show about this Twitter, and that's how it happened.
I'll tell you what,
I did
man,
not know that.
Yeah.
As much as we're saying, you shouldn't chase and you should be happy and all that, getting to that level where you can just be like, here's something I like, let's make it a TV show. And it just does, it happens. It's fucking crazy,
no, Jimmy, knowing.
But now you're gonna have to. Now you're going to have to get the vaccine and play all that if you're running with Jimmy Kimmel, right?
I have the vaccine.
Of course he does.
Yes. Clip that, please.
And Djokovic does too.
Yeah.
All right, let's run next door and do Answer the Internet, all right?
Let's do it, baby.
Yeah, I know you got to get out of here. So,
all right.
So watch the show. Chrissy Chaos is the podcast. Hey Babe is the podcast. Chrissy D Comedy on all the
Everything,
social.
ChristyComedy.com.
But it's not actually him posting. He's
by
a
the way,
fraud. He's a fraud.
I knew it wasn't you when you put up the carousel of Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And I'm tagged in one, and I'm like, I'm in the background. You can barely see my face.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't tag the person I'm fucking standing here with.
Yeah,
It's too much effort.
Yeah.
And I know Distefano's not tagging.
Yeah, you were like,
motherfuckers
that
in
is
the
a
background.
25-year-old intern.
He just writes, "Hey babe, it's me, Chrissy." Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
Sure it is. I'm gonna start doing that with my texts. I know it. But yeah, ChristyComedy.com, Radio City, theater at MSG.
So go by the Hulu.
And then go by the Hulu. And then also, if you're in the Fort Myers area and you want to come to the ranch on March 16th, we got tickets available. But Orlando and Jacksonville is sold out, fuckers.
Make sure you subscribe to KFC Radio on YouTube to get all the video content. Subscribe, comment, like, and make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you know whenever new video content drops.
I want to say something, but the video has to be fast, so that's it.